If you've ever had this feeling that something was terribly wrong with the world that we live in, but you couldn't figure out just what it was, then you've come to the right place. Secret societies, mystery religions, and the Illuminati have been controlling our reality since the beginning of time. But not anymore, because there is an awakening happening, and you are about to become a part of it. Wake up, because this is a call for an uprising.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. One of the things that has gone on over the weekend that we're going to see continue to go on is them pretending to ease up on restrictions. This is only really to pass more restrictions to say, look, we gave you a chance to go and show you could behave, and you didn't behave, and now we need to enforce stronger laws. We need to possibly even take and bring in martial law in certain states. Because it will be certain states. It will not be the entire country at once. They cannot have people become suspicious of this stuff. Oh, in New York, oh, this happened, and now they have to bring in military tanks. People will be like, oh, okay. And then they'll watch and study and examine how people behave. But the social distancing has gotten so ridiculous. I even went out where I live, where there's not many people, and there are cops everywhere. There's cops in parks. There's cops in parking lots. And if they even see you get out of your car, from what I've seen, they're ready to come up to you if you don't even have a mask on in some cases. But they're really just watching for that, and they're watching for social distancing. They've been given orders from the governor. This is apparently the most important thing, right? And this is right out of 1984, of course. But take a look what happened in New York now. You could believe maybe this is fake because all they need is stuff like this to say that, oh, we could bring in the military and said the police are bad. Remember, they want to remove the police and have the military involved as well in the National Guard and everything else. But this is because somebody violated social distancing in New York. Take a look.
Violation of social distancing orders led to a police confrontation in the East Village. Video posted on social media shows NYPD officers arresting a man near Avenue D and East 9th Street last night.
We will be out there again in force today and going forward to make sure that people are practicing that safe distance. Also, that people are wearing masks when out in public. So it's more of the same, unfortunately, for New York City. They can expect.
And this isn't the first story that's come out. We heard about the woman who was arrested in a park. We're seeing it worldwide, right? Woman who's sitting on a bench in Melbourne. 8 police come and question and surround the woman like she had just committed a Jeffrey Dahmer type of act. I mean, ridiculous stuff. You could see all of these stories. Idaho woman who was arrested during a protest at a closed playground was arrested. People getting handcuffed in front of their families at parks for allegedly violating social distancing. Okay, this is getting people used to this, obviously. And you would think that this would make people more and more angry and more ready to rise up against everything that's going on. But unfortunately, it's not. It's making people more scared to even leave their home, which, again, is what they want. They want us to imprison ourselves in our home and say, look, at least you have your internet, you have all your technology, you have the TV so you can get your fake news from us, and we have all these camera devices, spying devices in your home so we can make sure we can watch what you're doing. Because, again, I've said this, and look, if you follow my channel, I did videos, in the fall talking about how your home is going to become your new prison, way before this. And for years, talking about how we're imprisoning ourselves. And now look what's happened. They've come out with the quarantine, and people are willingly imprisoning themselves in their home. And the only thing you could do is, you can go to the park for a little bit, but you got to go back home after. What does that sound like? Sounds just like a jail cell, right? They're imprisoned. They get to go outside for recess for an hour, and then they're back in their cell. Same thing. So some people would say, well, why wouldn't they just imprison all of us? Well, where are they going to put all the prison cells? The smartest way to do it was for people to turn their homes into prisons. And that's what they've done. But nonetheless, we're allowing them to violate our rights. And again, you could see stories like this and you could say it's fake and it's for a reason. But this is going on around the country. And I believe it because maybe not this specific one because it does look a little suspicious, like he's just jumping a guy and trying to taser him for no reason. And this is an NYPD cop making an arrest in East Village, right, for social distancing violation, which threatened a bystander with a taser and then punched him to the ground, as you saw in the video. The video has spread quickly on social media showing officers making an arrest on 9th Street and Avenue D just after 5:30 Saturday, when one cop gets up, draws his taser, and approaches a bystander while yelling, "Move the F back right now, don't flex." Police said the bystander, 33-year-old Donnie Wright, and again, there's your 33, so then you could wonder if this is a legit story or not, or if this is something they're planting out there. Now, obviously, you see it really happen because it's on video, but they can stage these types of things all the time to get reaction out of the public. Because remember, I mean, we even heard Bill Gates and all these scumbags talk about how important it is to bring in data and to monitor data. Because it's the data that they see that shows them how close they are, how far along they are with getting everything accomplished that they want to get. They don't want a large majority of people to push back because there are more of us than there are of them. And that's a fact. Now, look, they have the military under, most military under mind control. We have the police who are obviously under Freemason control and Freemason operatives who are doing everything they can for what they believe is the betterment of the human race because, they're so much better than us, the Freemasons. So they have all of these people working hand in hand with them. And again, that's why it was always so important for them to disarm the public and keep them armed, right? So they have a huge advantage because they don't have an advantage in numbers. But anyway, this cop lost his, he lost his badge according to police officers. And this is the type of stuff that's going on. Whether, like I said, this specific story was staged or not, but this is what they're doing. They're upping the ante now with police. And a lot of the governors, I read about the governor of New Jersey saying, look, we're going to let people go out there. This is for you. But I'm telling you right now, if you disobey, and I hear the data comes back over the weekend that people aren't social distancing, we're going to file, this executive order that we can file, and then the restrictions are going to get even worse, and more people are going to be forced to stay indoors, and everything's going to be shut down, even leaving your house and going up the road for a jog. Okay? So that's likely what this could possibly lead to. I mean, look, I'm under the belief that they're going to ease up for a little bit, just to give people a little bit of taste of reality and then bring them back to this. So that then they will all willingly take the vaccine that's going to save the human race, right? Because they need to obviously make sure that everybody's on board for the most part. And then the few of us who aren't, the people who are on board are going to say, go get it because we don't want to get sick from you because you could carry the antibody. And then, we'll be like, well, why aren't you immune because you got the shot? And they'll go, no, because there's still a 2% chance we can still get it. So why would you even take the shot then if it's not 100% guaranteed? Oh, because you're a zombie. Just like the people who get their flu shot. They pretty much tell you it's a less than 50% chance that it's going to protect you from getting the flu, and these morons still get it. Pretty amazing, right? Pretty amazing. This is the world that we're living in. But this is Big Brother, right? So they've called on Big Brother. Instead of looking at all the other things that possibly, could be going wrong in the world, like trafficking of, what, not talking about drugs, talking about, children, all these other things that are going on. The police are they've fully been asked to spend 24/7, not even really pulling people over for speeding as much, right? They're in these places where people can gather, which are limited. These small places, right? There's still, the malls and the restaurants are still closed and stores. So the police are sitting in parks. Police are sitting in, parking lots for specific places that might still be open. And they're watching how people are behaving and they're reporting this stuff. And anybody who's not, they're going up to them. They're possibly arresting them. I talked about how they're training dogs now to sniff this out. What do you think how easy could that be for them? Oh, this dog smells you and is barking. You must have it. They're going to have to arrest you and get you quarantined. It's a joke that the American people, I shouldn't even say the American people, the worldwide, that people are allowing this to happen. It's amazing. Because again, there's more of us than there are of them. But we let them push our buttons. Going to a place and protesting when some of those things were happening, I was saying, good, maybe this is going to lead to something else. Maybe those were staged events because from there, nothing else has occurred. And don't look at, I know people comment and go, well, why don't you do something? Well, what do you think? I want to have a bullseye on my head? Like people who already talk about this stuff don't? What am I going to go do, right? Everybody's their own individual, but I'm not obliging by these things that they're telling us to do. But unfortunately, I can't, if I wanted to go to a store, which luckily for me, I don't, I already socially distance myself. So it's not the biggest deal. The only thing that really pisses me off is I'd like to travel, if I wanted to, or visit family or go somewhere, because I do like to, go places, or not like places, but, like go to a park in a different state and all that kind of stuff. And they're closed in some states and they're open in others. And it's annoying. It's just a little bit of an annoying thing. But if people just looked at this and they said, okay, how are we still allowing this to happen? And I know people are cracking, because we could see that people are cracking. And unfortunately, people are going through a lot of mental health issues from this, because a lot of people aren't used to being home with their spouse 24/7. People aren't used to not interacting with other humans, right? They're in their own head 24/7 with this. And that's not good for a lot of people who are so used to this matrix that they live inside of. And that's what they want. And they want you to turn to Big Brother when they come and they say, we've got it for you. We've got the solution. And they'll go, yay, stick it in my butt. That didn't sound right, but you know what I mean. Stick it in my arm. Okay? And they're going to take it. So this is what we have going on. We have the social distancing rules, which have been in effect, now are being completely monitored state by state. They're easing restrictions, but now instead of, they're easing restrictions, but things aren't going back to the way they were. It's a police state, right? The police are watching your every move. Have fun jogging in a park when there's cops up your rear end, staring at you and standing there, probably using some type of Google tracking device to, see if there's, is he 7 feet or 6 feet? I mean, it's a complete joke that we've allowed it to get to this point when the statistics, even if you believe this is real, the statistics show that more people die of the flu. And I don't believe any of the statistics about the flu either, because I don't see 100,000 people dying of the flu. But if people out there believe in all this crap, right, they believe, that everyone's dying of the flu, you need to get your flu shot, and then this is all real, then why aren't they using that as a comparison tool and saying, we never did this over the flu, we never social distanced over the flu, and what's more extreme about, it can spread easy? I mean, give me a break. There's nothing out there that should make people afraid to be near people, but the mind control is the only thing that there is, and that's what they're using on everyone. So we had a incident in New York. We'll see what else happens with the social distancing, but it's all a total scam, all a total joke. I thank you for listening to today's show. God bless all of you and your families.